just rolling, opening out. And then forwards, just rolling. Go here. Yeah, good. Good. And then just loosely kind of swaying side to side. Just keep the arms loose. Opening the ribs out. In this case, look for like a wave from the rib cage. Just kind of rolling, yeah, rolling through the hips. Yeah, great. The t-shirt. Rolling. Good. And then just rotate and start very small, kind of loose. Let the arms kind of curl, and then just start to open it out. And start to allow the arms to really swing out. Yeah, good. Good. So, good. And then just hip circles here. Good. And then the other way. And then just slightly wider, just sitting into the posture. A little bit lower. Sitting down, just down, lengthening the spine through the neck. Just holding it, and then just looking over the shoulder. Keep it nice and light. Just coiling. And then just start to increase the range. Looking further over the shoulder. Good. Good, great. Good. Good. And then just for the knees close together, just bending down, right down. And then this one's stretching back. So first stretching the knees back, and then just stretch them down slightly. Yeah, that's it. Good, nice and slow. Good. And then just one more time, stretch them, kind of slightly push back, really in the back of the hamstring. Good. And then just sit forward one more time. Nice and slow. Good. That's it. Good. Good. And then just coming up and then go to the circles. Nice and tight circles. Good. And then the other way. Great. Good. And then just widening. You're going to go wider. Just again, just sit into the posture, just nice and loose. And then just start to sway slightly. So very lightly. Just focus in this case just the weight swaying from foot to foot. And as you feel the weight start to shift, just start to shift more weight. Start to shift more weight. More weight. More weight. More weight. And shift until now you get this leg's going to be straight. So just shift. Shift. And then start to shift, go lower. Shift, go lower. Shift, go lower. Good. 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 That's it. And then just shift, go lower, and go all the way down. So now touching the butt and bringing the toes up. And changing. Good. One more time, both sides. Back. Good. Last time. Good. Good. So just from the ground. Oh, here's my knife. I'm gonna go here. Just cross over the foot. You're gonna take the orientation. Then take the toes. I'm just gonna make rotations. So holding the toe, yeah. Good. And then the other way. And then with both thumbs just pressing into the foot, into the sole. And then loose with the fingers just to the toes. Good. And then just small circles with the toes. And then just shake the foot out. And then take it with both hands. You're gonna kind of stretch it up towards the head, and then stretch it down into the hip joint. So bringing it forward, up, and then stretching back just for the hip. Just do a few back. That's it. Good. And then just place it down and go to the next one. So holding the toes, rolling. Good. Both directions. Good. And then with the thumbs, just pressing. Good. Loose with the toes, just flexing them. And then each toe individually, small circles. Pulling. Good. Good. Oh yeah, and then the last one, holding the foot, stretching it out, and then into the hip joint. And then dip forward, stretching up, opening the hip. Good. Okay, just come up onto the knees. So, okay. Just do for the head, so just pressing down, gently, release it, and then pressing up and back. Good. And then to the side, so the opposite side, just wait. Good. Wait. Good. And then just circles to the back. Good. Circles to the front. Good. And just for the shoulders, just tighten the shoulders and kind of lift them up, as if you're going to bring the shoulders to your ears. Hold it slightly, tighten, and then release it down. Relax with it. So it's a kind of hold, tighten, make two fists. Really tighten everything, and then drop it down. Yeah. Tighten, hold, and drop. Good. And just for the arms again, just go loose. Good. And then just for the wrist, we'll start with like a nikyo. So the thumb down, hand over the top. It's like this. Yeah. And just nice and gently. Just a few. Go about 8 on. Good. 2. So. Good. And then change sides. Here. Good. And then like kotegaishi, so here the palm out. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Change sides. This one's similar. You take the thumb down and then take the thumb on top. So this time's like this way, and in this one, like
you're doing
this one's slightly different. Yeah. So in this case, the thumb. Yeah, exactly. The thumb's on top. This one's a bit more like a nikyo. So in this case, it's like the little finger is like as if I try and point it towards my nose. Yeah. And this one, you really get this nikyo. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of drawing it in. Yeah. That. That's it. Good. And then changing sides. That's thumb on top. Yeah. Good. And then you can do 2 for the sankyo with the palm out, the thumb in the center, and then you just turn it all inside. Turns inside, Yeah, yeah, and then keep going through that hole. Yeah, keep going, keep going. And in this case, just slightly take it to the armpit. So slightly to the side, twist it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And this one, just bring it on, take it on, off, very lightly. Good, good, and then change. So thumb in the middle. Yeah, hand out. Yeah, don't worry. Hand out, thumb in the. Yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it. And then just turn it out. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, and then just twist the wrist out. Yeah, good. That's it. That's it. Good. Got it. Stop. That's it. Got it. In this case, just if you put the palm out flat in front of you, just place the thumb right in the center, like this. So kind of on top. Yeah, that, and then turn it kind of inside out. Yeah, that's it. There we go. And then take it. It's just a slightly tricky one. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, that's it. Good. Good. And then the other one you kind of do for the Sankyo is the hand out, and then taking the fingers, slightly just extending it over. Also for the elbow. Yeah, good. Also, you can with this one, you're super flexible as well, so you can also place this in the ground. See? Yeah, and slightly add pressure into the shoulder, to the wrist. So kind of increase it, decrease it. Yeah, good. And then just change sides. So take the fingers, roll it over, and you can just increase the pressure on it. Good. Good. And then make a fist like this. You can clamp it on the slightly close to the hip. So it's kind of clamped to the hip. Make a tight fist, kind of with resistance. Make kind of circles. So don't have it too floppy, but make a kind of strong fist, and just kind of rotate into it without grinding into the cartilage. So roll it, and then just go to the other side. So make a fist kind of tight to the hip, with slight resistance, and just roll it. So, and then the other way. And then connect the fingers together this way, kind of with the palms, and just roll with it. Kind of roll. You can roll like a wave this way, or yeah, you can roll kind of in circles. Yeah, just play with the connection between the hands from the shoulders. Just loosening the wrist. Yeah. You can also curl it, fold it. Yeah. Just for the fingers. Good. And we'll do one last one just for the hands. You can do this two ways. You can make a fist. You're basically going to use the other hand to kind of grip and slightly kind of press into the grip. Now the other hand, as you do it, you can do this with a fist, like this, kind of tightening. So you're going to kind of tighten and squeeze with the other hand, and go basically all the way down the forearm. So start at the wrist, and you're going to kind of press, squeeze, and just go all the way down the wrist, or down the arm, down the forearm. So at the same time, kind of coil and really kind of press, and then go down the top of the arm. This kind of, so kind of opening, closing. Yeah. That's it. And then go to the other arm. Kind of fist, roll, roll, roll. This is when you've got no practice of someone grabbing you. You can grab yourself. Rolling, grabbing. Yeah. Good. That's it. Good. And then the other way of doing it, do the same thing. You're going to squeeze with this hand, and this is like a koku. You're going to kind of open out. So you kind of roll in, open out. You can do this like also with the arm, kind of opening, and at the same time kind of squeeze and work down the arm as well. So in the same way, you're going to kind of roll out from the arm. You can also work all the way up the arm as well. So into the bicep, to the shoulder, and just work the top and the bottom of the arm. Just coil into it. Yeah. Coil into it. This is good for koku practice as well, so kind of rolling in. Yeah. Rolling in. Work your way down the arm, and then just change sides. So this time squeezing with a koku. Rolling. Rolling. Good. Good. That's it. and then to the top. So, good. Good, and then just shake the arms out. Good, down the bottom. Good. So we'll do basic rolling just from here. So as we kind of normally do it, just from here, really use the hands and just coiling down, and then coming back up. From here, coiling down, coiling back up. So really maximize the contact with the ground and the spine. Good. So. Good. That's it. Nice. Good. Keep going. Nice. Good. And then just do the same thing. You're going to slightly now come up. So you're going to go down. Yeah, and then just come up onto the. Don't bring the toe up yet. Just down onto the flats and then sink back down. So just slightly raising up and then come back down. Slightly raising up. You can also keep the contact with the hands as you come up. So you can use the hands just to coil. Yeah, that's it. Right. Good. Good. That's it. Good. Keep going. Nice. Good. And have the focus in this one is a little bit like someone's got a string attached to the center, to the center line, and you're gonna kind of go down, and then imagine you being kind of pulled up from the center. This kind of feeling of being pulled up. So kind of coming down and then pulled back up. Yeah. Pull back up. So it's really like the hips. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. Very nice. Good. 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 And then the next step, just from this position, you go down, come up, and then you're going to bring the body up and just come up into a kind of squat, and then just raise up through the feet, and then just find the ground again. So you go down, here, come up, use the hands, just find the feet, and then just press the weight totally into the feet, leave the hands, and then just raise up, nice and slow. Yeah, good. And then just the same, go down, nice and controlled, using the arms. Find a squat, find the weight, and then stand. And then go down, the ground, and the feet. That's it, great. Good. And then just try it a little bit more. Yeah, good. Good. Keep going. Good. In this case, just try a little bit more fluidly. So you're gonna go down, roll, find the ground, and then stand up through it. So find the ground, roll, and then just find the feet. So a little bit more fluidly, just kind of in one movement. So you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, great. Very nice. Good. Very nice. Good. And in this case, also look for kind of spirals in the bodywork. So you can do this kind of straight as a kind of basic movement where I just go down, kind of come up, and then find the ground up. But also now explore slightly kind of spiraling into the ground. You're gonna kind of coil into the ground, and then have the sense of kind of coiling up out of the ground. So in this case, this is also easier in movement. So you can take kind of step somewhere, step in the ground, come up, and then as you come up out of the ground, you can also take another step and just have this sense of spiraling in and out of the ground. Yeah. Which is easier kind of in movement. Do the same thing now with the knife, just back onto the ground. So about that. Just very lightly in the ground. Just kind of, you're going to kind of change from grip to grip. So you can start just one side, just roll with it, and just come down. So keep the same side down, keep the same side of the knife, and just do a few, just very lightly, just with the knife. Good. And then do a few, and then just change the hand. So just rolling down, rolling forward, and just close it. Again. Just do a few, and then in this case, change hands. So as you go down, just play with changing the hand that holds the knife. So just pass it and play with it. Pass it and play with it. Good. Try and sort out my other camera. Good. And in this case, you can also play with with the knife, just placing it down. So you can place it down, just move, and just play with picking it up. So you're going to kind of move it from on the ground, just anyway, roll, place it down. Just kind of playing with control of the knife. So you can place it here, here, and just play. In this case, where you place it, play with different grips. So play with different ways of taking the grip in the knife and rolling with it. Just going to kind of change it slightly and just open the roll out a little bit. So you can also, if you like, go to a forward roll. So you can also very lightly start to open the rolls out a little bit, just using the ground. So just playing with placing, rolling, and any kind of way you like, nice and softly, nice and tight. Keep it all within the body. Yeah, just to kind of control. Place it down and just come down into the ground. Just play with picking it up, and again, just play with. The key thing in this exercise is just playing with different ways to take the knife, and just keep it controlled. So just placing it down, control, and then just placing it, picking it up. Just becoming kind of conscious of the handling of the knife. Yeah, very controlled. Yeah, good. Good. Just play with different hands, different ways to hold it. Just picking it up. That's it. Good. And then try the same thing. You're gonna place it down, and you're gonna close your eyes as you do it. So as you place it down, just close your eyes, and then come up, and then take a few steps, and then see if you can kind of relocate it. Just relocate it. Hold it, move, play a little bit with the knife, place it down, and just take a few steps away from it, and then see if you can kind of relocate it. Boom. And then find it. So just to kind of create a kind of connection with the knife. Really sensitivity exercise. So, oh, yeah. Good. Okay, good. So we'll go to the next step. This is just to start with the wrist and the knife with a very loose grip. So kind of in the fingertips, and just playing with very light contact. Just play with kind of moving it. So just with the arm, a little bit like we do with the Jo. This kind of work we do, or the turning work. Actually, we'll do the same kind of practice we do with the Jo. So just play like this. So it's the same kind of thing. And just feel the weight of the knife. So just coming in and out of the grip. Now the grip's kind of very light, very loose. So it allows much more flexibility. Because it's a lighter weapon, shorter weapon. I don't need quite as much control, especially when it's in movement. And in this case, think of like the first Saburi. When you move, the grip's going to kind of loosen. So as you move to find the back, the grip's very loose. This kind of grip that we practice here, and then this kind of closing in the knife. Just play with this. So just very lightly roll it either side, and passing it to the other hand. It's actually the same. So we use the same. We don't do the knife work exactly the same. Just change it slightly. Good. And in this case, just play with passing it. So you try and pass it in the same way. So you can pass it like this. You can pass it from hand to hand. And just have the sense of passing it now. So kind of passing it, moving it. Passing it, moving it. That's it. Yeah, good. Good. Let me go slightly here. Good. Good. So just passing it from grip to grip. Good. Fingers to fingers. Just really play with the knife. Good. And then just very lightly start to come out. So the same thing we kind of do with the Joe, this kind of movement, just start to kind of come out with it. Now you can play with kind of thrusting movements slightly. Naturally comes to thrusting movements. But the key thing is just play with the elbow kind of coming in and out. And you can also, in this case, play with the grip. So kind of as it coils in, you can change the grip. Very light. And just starting to now really work with the idea that the hip's going to start to initiate the move. So kind of movement's going to come from the knife. Really like the tip of the blades, like the point of my finger. Boom, just kind of comes out. So the hip's going to send the knife out, and it's going to kind of bring it back. That's it. It's kind of coiling in and out from the hip. Very light. And then just change hands, change side, coil in and out. So just very, what you're looking for is this connection. Feet, hip, hands. It's always kind of the same. Just coiling. Good. Very light. Very light. Yeah, in the case of the knife, also because it's a pointed weapon, I don't need so much power. So in the case of like the joke, I need quite a lot. I need a kind of blunt, kind of impacting movement. In the case of the knife, it's already sharp, so it takes very little pressure to kind of go through. So it's got a much kind of smoother, yeah, much more dangerous feeling as well. Much sharper. And just play with it. Start to change the grip. Just play with different kind of movements. Good. That's it, yeah, and do the same kind of changing the hand. So the same kind of feeling. Just play with changing the hand. Don't think yet really about attacks. So just think about movements. So movements from the hip. The attacks come from the movements. That's it. Just play with it. Coiling in and out. The key's just now the connection to the center, to the knife, from the center to the knife. That's it. Just coil with it. Yeah, good. That's it. Good. And then the exercise we do with the Joe, with the full hip twist and the turning, you're gonna now just convert this into the Joe, into the knife. So just kind of coil through it. Coil through it. Yeah, that's it. So you can kind of direct it really with the center. Coiling. Just try in this case. This is a little bit strange, but go find the center line. Now don't move the knife unless the hip moves. So basically, it's really like what we do with the bokken. Like I connect the weapon and then the hip moves. So the hip moves and directs the movement. This is really like what we do in the seventh Saburu. So when you hear and you do the ski of the seventh Saburu, the hit goes and then the bokken follows. In this case, keep the feet kind of in a shoulder width, and just kind of play with just the connection. So just the connection, and nothing moves in the knife unless the hip goes. So the hip's going to direct everything. Yeah, and the hand just follows. And just play with both hands. Rolling it in, good. Coiling it, good. That's it, just coiling it. The hip's just gonna connect. Yeah, that's it. So play with different kind of movements. The change in the knife's gonna happen with a change in the hip. So play with changing the hip, change the knife. So just just explore and notice what happens to the knife when I just change the hip. So I just change the hip. The knife automatically changes. So it just changes. Very subtle. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. That's it. You can also play with different grips in this case. So different grips and like this kind of movement. This. So it's just gonna follow. It's just gonna follow. Think in this case like movements we do with in the taijutsu when you do like an ikkyo, the opening movement of the ikkyo. This is a clear slashing movement. So it's clearly a kind of slashing movement which can be can be a bokken, or much more clearly it's like a knife. It's a kind of slice. So now start to move the feet. So you can start from a square position or hand me, but just start to move the knife with the body now. So the hip moves the center, and then the knife is gonna go with it. Just think of kind of slashing movements. That just drawing out with a knife this way. Yeah, good. From the ground. Good. That's it. Good. Good. So. And remember the video from the bokken, the slicing movement. So these slicing to the side and then coming through. Now you've got 8 directions you can explore. There's more, but in this case, just explore these. Just the slice movement. The first is to the front, so just stepping forward to the front, and you can do front foot or back foot. So in this case, the front foot or the back foot. Just play with, in this case, back foot, front foot. Just slicing, just kind of slicing with the knife. So from the back foot or the front foot. That's it. Yeah, good. Slicing, just kind of drawing it out. Slicing. Slicing. Yeah, good. That's it. Good. Good, good, good. And you can do this both sides. You've got much more options with the knife because it's only a one-handed weapon. You've got actually 8 options in both sets. So you've got the left side, left foot, left side from the back foot. And I can also do the opposite. So I can do the left foot forward, but the knife in the backhand. And I can slice from the backhand, and I can slice from the backhand. So you've actually got, with one set of movement, which is just forwards, you've actually got 8 movements in total. So you've got a lot. You've got a lot of movements. Much more. So you've got the front hand, front foot. You've got the backhand, front foot. You've got front hand, back foot. And you've got backhand, back foot. This way. You've got kind of 4. Kind of clear. See it. Yeah, that's it. Good. Just play with them. Good. That's it. Great. Good. Good. And then the next movement is lateral, so from side to side. So in this case, from the right side forward. This is really like the Aikido movement. So it's going to slice from the front this way. And then you can also do from the back leg, slicing to the other side this way, across the body. So slicing this way, or slicing from the front foot this way. Yeah, just play with those. A little bit clearer here. That's it. Right to the side. And in this case, see if you can just to make the angle clear, the first one's like to the front, slightly at an angle out. And in this case, you're going to go like 90 degrees. So you're going to go fully 90 degrees. In this case, think like the Aikido movement, or think like Shihonage, when you come out to the side. So in this case, allow you see the feet? Oh, wait, no, you see my table? See the feet? You're going to go from the back foot kind of really 90 degrees, and then resettle. And then from the other foot, you go 90 degrees out, and then come out. Yeah, so really a fully aside. Yeah, that's it. So front hand, this way. You can do both sides, and you can also do from the back hand. So if in this case my right foot is forward, the left side is going to kind of make the slice here this way. Or if I'm right foot forward, I go out. So just play with both hands, and again you've got 8 options.
Okay.
To the side, left hand, right hand. That's it. Was that way. Was. Was. Good. Was. Good. That's it. Good. Okay, good. The other angle you've got is to go back. So from the front foot, you can just slide backwards, slide back, or you can step. So from the front foot is going to move back and slice back. In this case, think like the movements we make with Aikido. When we do Kinanaga, you kind of roll back with the body. And in this case, the front hand slides, or just slide backwards. this way. So any movement you can make front or back. So front or back slice. That's it. Yeah, good. Slice it. Good. That's it. Slicing. 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 That's it. Oh, very dark. Yeah. That's it. Good. So front, back. Yeah, good. Front, back. Okay, then the last direction is to make a rotation. So you got to the front, you got to the side, to the back, and then rotating backwards. So in this case, you've got a front foot rotation, like this way, like a tenkan. So like you do in Taina Henko. That's the first one. So from the front foot, slicing to the back, slicing to the back. Good. Just like Taina Henko. And you can also change hands. Slicing to the back. Slicing to the back. Good. Good. And you can also do this in the backhand. So if the right side is forward, I have the knife in my backhand and slice to the backside. So the backhand slices through the rotation. Backhand slices. Backhand slices. Backhand slices. Good. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Good. 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 And then the other rotation you can make is from the back foot. So like any Irimi Tenkan, you're going to kind of step from the back foot and then find the rotation. Yeah, so you step from the back foot and then slice. Yeah, good. Step in, slice. Good. Step in, slice. Good. That's it. Go right back. Step in, slice. Good. In, slice. Step in, slice. Oh. Good. That's it. Great. Good. That's it. Great. Good. And then in this case, just play with all of them. So you've got 4 directions. You've got 4 directions: front, side, back, and a rotation. So those are the 4 directions. And you've got 2 sides: front foot, left foot, and you've got 2 arms: right hand, left hand. So I'm not good at math. I'm not good at math, so you've got I'll do the math later. You've got unlimited, yes. Kind of infinite number of movements. So in this case, just play with, just really as you feel. Take the knife in one hand and just make one movement, slice, and then just pass it to another hand, and then just make one movement, slice, and just pass it, and then just make one movement. So you can do front foot, back foot, front hand, back hand. These have all your options. Just looking at a slicing movement. So rotating, pressing in, good. Slice, good. Slice. That's it. Good.
more
Very
space.
nice.
Good. Okay, good. So just really explore these movements now. Just think front foot, back foot. So the key thing is the front foot, front hand, or back foot, back hand. So just now really don't think so much of going somewhere. Just think I want to go this way. Whoa. And then just change. You can also play with different ways to hold the knife and just play with moving. So this way, slicing. This way, slicing. Yeah, and just really play with different kind of movements. Slicing. Slicing out. Yeah. And we'll just finish with some movements slightly more formal. In this case, like the thrust, the movement that's most common is like a thrusting movement. So like a basic ski. So just from shoulder width apart. Let's see here, just with the hand at the back. It's a bit dark. You're gonna go just from here, just send the hand out and then just draw it back. Send it out, draw it back. Now you're gonna look in this case for a slightly more sense of power, thrusting through from the hip. So right from the side of the hip and then just pulling it through. So the knife's gonna be very close to the body and then it's gonna just come out with the hip. That's it. That's it, that's it, that's it, good. And just try both sides. Just coiling it. Actually very similar to the movements we started with, but now just with a bit more intention of thrusting. Good. Yeah, great. Good. So. Good. Yeah, in this case you can play basically with two ways of using the knife. There's this way where the blade points down, is used for this way. Normally the blade's actually going to point up, so the blade's going to point up, and the strike, the thrust is going to actually come from low, and it's going to kind of arc up the body. So it's a kind of mix between a thrust and a slash. So it's a kind of rolling up this way, and this movement's going to kind of make a kind of arc. It's going to kind of coil in and up, or it's going to coil in and up this way. So just play with the knife this way. Got a slightly different feeling. Yeah. Good. 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 That's it. That's it. Good. Good. That's it. The next movement, the blade face down. This is slightly more of an arcing movement. So again, from the back hip, but it's going to kind of arc out. So you're going to kind of roll out. Now in this case, this is like a thrust here. So it's slightly going to arc out the body. So from here, going to kind of slightly roll out this way, that way. Yeah, that's it. Good. And just try both sides. It's going to kind of arc out to the side. That's it. That way. Good. So very nice. Good. That's it. Good. The next one is like a shomanuchi. So again, the knife, the blade's down. You're going to kind of coil, you're going to reach up to the head and then you're going to just slice down. So really a vertical cut. You're going to kind of roll up to the center of the body and just bring it down. Coil up, bring it down. Raise up, get down. It's like a slicing movement. That's it. Slicing. Good. That's it. Do like a basic shomanuchi, kind of a slice. Just pass it. So that's it. Good. Good. And then the next one is still it's like a slice, it's really like a yokomanuchi. It's going to come down diagonally. So it's very loose in the arm. You're going to kind of slice. You can also use, in this case, the other hand to kind of roll the knife down. So very at a slight angle. Just play with both sides. Slicing down. Slicing. That's it. Good. That's it. Good. And then using the same angle, change the grip so that it's back down. So the classic psycho knife. You're going to be like this, the blade paints forward. It's the same, it's a yokomanuchi, but now it's like a stab. So now it's like it's a downwards thrusting. Just kind of here, this way. So kind of hyper low, arcing out, good. And just do both sides. So kind of stabbing down. Very common movement, common attack. So here, here, there, there, good. That's it. Good, nice. Good, and then this is similar. This is just the opposite side. So now this is a bit like when we make the uraken. So like a rear back fist. It's like this movement. It's a bit like this. The knife's still in the same position. It's going to kind of come across the body this way. So this is like a stab. You've got this stab this direction, and then if I just change the directions this way, so it's kind of stabbing. It's a slightly downwards move here, across the body, and then here. Again, you can use this hand. Just be careful here. You're going to kind of roll across. You're going to kind of curl up the body and then come out. Yeah, that's it. Curl up the body and come out. So. You can also do this movement the same way with the blade this way, and then it becomes again more of like a slash. So it's like a slashing move, but it's going to kind of come across the body this way. It's like a slash this way, like a reverse slash. Yeah. So, or the other way. So. Good. Good. That's it. Good. Okay, so we'll build up a set. We'll start with just two movements. The knife here. You're gonna go with the thrust, bring it back, and then you're gonna go with the slightly arcing out movement, and then bring it back. Just two moves. You're gonna kind of thrust straight, and then arc out with a. Yeah, that's it. So you thrust straight, curl, thrust straight, curl the knife. Good. That's it. And then just both sides. So thrusting through, curling. Straight, curling. Good. That's it. Good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the set. You're going to go 1, 2, and then you're going to change the hand. 1, 2. So you're going to kind of full set. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I'm just trying to link the hip in. Good. And you're really slow. Whoosh, like this. Good. That's it. Good. Good. And we'll introduce one more move. You go. You thrust straight. You arc out, and then you slash straight down. Nice and easy. You go 1, 2, raise it, slice it. So you go thrust straight, arc, slice down this way. And then just change hands. You go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's it. Good. Yeah, and just changing hands each time. Great. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. And now we'll add the next movement. You go 1, straight, 2, curl, 3, slice your manuchi, and then 4, slice like a yokomen, sliced in a diagonal. You go straight, arc, slash, and diagonal. So 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Got it. Like slash. If you got lost with these, you just go to 1 and then and then just curl it with the hip. Again, it's just going to be the hip. So think like the hip raises it, slices down. The hip then curls slightly this way. This is like the difference between number 4, fourth saburi, with the hips straight, and yokomen, where the hip's going to kind of curl with it. So just practice go like the shomen, straight with the hip, and then curl the hip slightly in the raise, and then slice it down. So the shomen work and then yokomen work. Shomen, yokomen, just with the hip. Think about doing the fifth saburi. So when you do this move with the sword, yeah, like that. Allow that kind of movement to kind of come out, but it's just kind of a one-handed. That. Yeah, that angle. Yeah, exactly. We'll add the others. The other movement. So you got straight, curling, slashing straight down. You've got a yokomen to the diagonal. Now in this case, you can also do a slice this way. Yeah, good. And then what you're going to do is change the grip. So like this, stab to the side, and then you stab the other side. Whoa, like this way. Yeah, exactly. And then you go back to the start. Bring the knife here. You can see. You go stab. Look at this. Stab. Curl. Slash diagonally. Slash the other side. Change the grip. You go slash. Let's see if you can see it. Slash. And then from here, just continue it. Keep the grip kind of loose. I change the grip with this movement, so just play with curling, just changing the grip. So, just kind of changing the grip. This is very loose. Yeah, and this happens a lot. I've got to be very careful. I don't go on my toe. So, yeah, just play with this kind of dexterity as well. Great for the hands. Good. Last minute. Just play with very lightly. You can move the feet as well. Just play with moving the knife. Just play with kind of moving it, passing it between the hands, changing the grip. Also play with, you can move it behind the body, like we do with the jaw. Really kind of play with it. Just kind of moving the knife. Have the feeling in this case, like the point of the knife, the point of the movement is the point of the knife. So like my center line and the point of the knife is like the direction. So feel that the point of the knife is like cutting into the space. It's kind of moving into the space, like a shark through water. Gonna kind of move through the water. Coils in, slashes. Good. Very kind of playful. Playful with a very dangerous object. So, this way. Just really play with the grip. Just like you do with the jaw. This way. That's it. Good. Good. Or this is also like when you feed a baby, you go with the spoon, you go kind of into the mouth. So this is a bit like feeding a baby with a knife, not with a knife, with a spoon, with some food. So kind of moving it in. Yeah, and just really play like freely with the center. Very flexible connection. Super flexible. Good. And then the last thing, just play with moving it, very light. And then when you feel like it, just go to an attack. So just kind of go and finish with an attack. Kind of the same with the jaw work, kind of move it, play with it, play with also kind of concealing it, and then just come through with one attack. Hold it and then just move. So move the weapon, play with it. You can play with hiding it. Yeah, and then just go with a movement. So move and then go. Very playful. Moving. And you can also bring in the slice work that we did before, very last thing. You can also bring in these kind of slicing movements we did. So think of also rotating to the back, finding a new direction. Was. Yeah, good. That's it. Good. Good. And then the very last thing, very last thing, just play with linking the attacks together. Just play with like passing it. So every movement now is like an attack. Slicing, slicing, stabbing, thrusting, thrusting. It's like every movement's going to be an attack. So. Good. That's very nice. Very nice. So actually the same way we would use the Joe, I'm a bit dark.
Yeah.
Then really in the same way we use the Joe.
Similarities.
Yeah, try and just use the same kind of principle. It's actually somewhere between the Joe, for me, somewhere between the Joe work and the Bokken work. So obviously it's got these slicing, stabbing, thrusting movements and the cutting movements. But it's also got the kind of, what's great about the knife is it's also got the dexterity that you get from the Joe work. You get this kind of flexibility and ability to kind of move the wrist and play with turning the Joe, but just much more on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can use the same kind of principle. So it's something we should develop more, the knife work.